Good evening, friends, and welcome to tonight's edition of Insight. I am your host, Pat Gagliardo, and a little later on in the program, I will be taking your calls and I will be answering your mail on the pressing issues in your life. But first, out-of-the-body experiences, OOBE. Who has them, why we have them, and the possible explanations for OOBE. My guest this evening could not visit in our studio, therefore I will be interviewing with him via the telephone. You will, however, still be able to call in and speak directly with him over the phone. My guest holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in English Literature from Princeton University, and he has studied at Dr. J. Rhine's Parapsychology Laboratory at Duke University. Good evening, Mr. Boyce Batey. Can you hear me, Boyce?
I can indeed, Pat, and it's good to be with you tonight.
Thank you very much. Boyce, I'd like to start our program this evening with asking you just really kind of a simple question for you and myself, but certainly not for our viewers. Just what is an out-of-body experience?
An out-of-body experience that is also called astral projection or the astral exteriorization phenomenon or the astral extrusion experience or traveling in the spirit or anti-gravitational tetrasynchronicity, a scientific term that means a state of being in four-dimensional time, is that experience where a person experiences their consciousness, everything that thinks, feels, sees, functioning at a discrete point outside of their body and brain and away from their body and brain. Quite often they are able to see their physical body from the vantage point outside of their physical body.
Boyce, can this experience be linked with experiences such as déjà vu?
In a sense, yes. A déjà vu is the most frequent psychical experience that most persons have. It means already seen, and quite often a person might have a telepathic dream or a precognitive dream or a clairvoyant dream or have an out-of-the-body experience while sleeping, may not remember the dream, may not remember the out-of-the-body experience during which they traveled and encountered someone or some place. And yet, when they encounter that person or that place, they have a feeling as though they had known that person before or been to that place before.
Mm-hmm. Let me take that a step further then. Can someone in an astral projection state meet up with that of another astral energy?
Oh, yes, indeed. I know of persons who, while out of the body at night, while sleeping, attend school with other persons who they recognize while they are in that school, studying metaphysics and philosophy at an astral and spiritual dimension of consciousness. And then sometimes these persons encounter on the street those persons who they first met while in the classrooms in spirit while out of the body.
Can someone then say perhaps meeting someone in such a manner could also be an explanation for meeting someone in the physical body and feeling or experiencing that you've known that person all your life on a first-time meeting?
Yes, that is a viable alternative explanation for one of the other explanations that is posited, that is that one knew that person in a previous lifetime. Also, there are other viable alternative explanations for déjà vu in terms of short-term precognition, in terms of false memory channels opening out of the subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm. Can someone will this experience?
Yes, I teach an experiential course sharing some 10 different techniques people can use to induce an out-of-the-body experience. And I do that for purposes of enabling a person to experience what it means to function outside the body and brain. Those persons who will spontaneously have an out-of-the-body experience will say, before I had that experience, I believed in an afterlife. Now, after having had that experience, I know what it means to die, and I'm no longer afraid to die because I know what it means to die. So I teach persons to have an out-of-the-body experience in order that they know what it means to die in order that they can overcome the fear of death and dying, which lies deep in the psyche as the mother sea and the fountainhead of all fear. And once you encounter and deal with that fear of death and dying deep within your own psyche, it helps you be set free of all fear to live more fully and more abundantly.
Right, and set free from the fear is so very important. It also sounds to me then it could be very helpful for someone who may be in the physical life experiencing a life-threatening disease, or a disease that, of course, like cancer or something, so they could live their life, as you just said, to the fullest, but maybe having or willing the body to go through this experience would certainly help them in eliminating fear, which, of course, we both share, I'm sure, that is the most important emotion to eliminate. Does the physical body go through any kind of experience, sensation, or change during an OOBE?
Yes, it does, but let me add to what you just said, Pat, that Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, the foremost thanatologist, expert in death and dying in our time, studied to teach people how to have out-of-the-body experiences and then taught them how to have them. I asked her how successful she was, and she said that she taught only 2 categories of people how to have out-of-body experiences. Those who were dying and abjectly afraid to die, and when they had an out-of-body experience, they lost their fear and were able to die with greater dignity. And others, quadriplegics, who wanted to get out to ball games and marriage ceremonies of family, but could not. And when she taught them how to have out-of-body experiences, she says they got out and went into ball games free.
That's a wonderful, wonderful feeling for those who feel trapped in the physical body as well. How does one discern the difference between having an actual out-of-body experience from dreaming?
Let me ask questions of your audience, and although neither you nor I can see them as they raise their hands, I ask of the audience to raise your hands for each of these questions. Have you ever had a dream of flying? And have you ever had a dream of falling? And have you ever had the experience just before you go to sleep at night of feeling a jerk? And I trust that virtually everyone in the audience has raised their hand for at least one of those questions.
Absolutely.
And I suggest still further that if you have raised your hand for any one of those questions, you have had an out-of-the-body experience. Dreams of flying, and especially dreams of falling, are ways in which the conscious waking mind becomes aware of having had an out-of-the-body experience. It's the way it's translated into the conscious waking mind. And that jerk that is called an astral repercussion experience is the spiritual body having separated from the physical body and then coming back very quickly into coincidence with the physical body, although psychoneurophysiologists call it a myoclonic jerk and explain it neurophysiologically. And to answer an earlier question of yours, there are changes in the body that occur during the out-of-the-body experience. Scientists have monitored these changes with bioelectromagnetic devices that monitor changes in the brainwave patterns, alpha, beta, theta, delta brainwave, in the eye flicker rate, in the blood, in the capillaries changing, and there very definitely are signs that it is different than a dreaming state and different than other states, and that can be demonstrated scientifically.
Boyce, hold on to your next train of thought. Persons interested in receiving a brochure on the many workshops that are available, you may write directly to Mr. Boyce Batey, Post Office Box 614, Bloomfield, Connecticut 06002. And when we come back, we're going to go right to the calls, and you may talk directly to our guest. He will be able to hear you and respond to your questions. The phone number in Connecticut is 1-800-443-TV26. Out of state, please dial 1-203 444-2626. Remember, you must dial all the digits to get through to Insight. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. And for those of you who may have just tuned in, you are watching Insight, and we're going to go straight to the lines to speak with my guest on out-of-body experiences. Go ahead, Nicole from New London. You're on the line.
Hi, yes, hello. Nice to speak with you. I was wondering how one might go about having or inducing an out-of-body experience.
The fundamental law of astral projection, Nicole, is when the subconscious mind becomes possessed by the desire to have an out-of-the-body experience and the physical body is incapacitated, then the spiritual body will move out. Some procedures and techniques take advantage of that fundamental law, but there are a number of different techniques, pranayamic and others, that use visualization, that use the imagination, that use the will in concert, but ultimately, beyond any technique that you use, is that all-consuming desire that you program very deeply into the conscious and subconscious mind of the having an out-of-the-body experience. And they do happen spontaneously also to persons. And I would suggest, in answer to a question that Pat asked at the beginning of the show, who has out-of-body experiences, as an answer that we all have out-of-the-body experiences each night. It is, many of us don't remember our dreams, but have 4 or 5 or more dreams every night anyway. In a similar manner, we all have out-of-the-body experiences, but don't remember them usually, and sometimes do very, very dramatically remember them.
Thank you very much, Nicole.
Forms of dreaming.
Thank you, Nicole from New London. Go ahead, Chris from Preston. You're on the line.
I was wondering, how do you know when you've had an out-of-body experience, and is it possible to induce them?
Yes, it is possible to induce them as a result of various psycho-spiritual technologies, Chris. And experientially, when you have one of these experiences, you know it. When you have a discrete one where you are consciously aware, I'm not talking about those where you remember it in the form of a dream.
Thank you very much, Chris. Go ahead, caller. You're on the line. Diana from Asheville, Massachusetts.
Hi. I read in a book once that the sensation of going through the tunnels, or going through a tunnel and then seeing a light at the end, was actually the soul moving from the base of the spine or the seat of the soul chakra up and out through the crown chakra. Could you comment on this?
Yes, we have postulated that going through that dark tunnel is going through what is called the silver cord that is connected from the medulla oblongata brainstem area of the spiritual body to the pineal gland at the center of the forehead of the physical body. And that's always connecting the two. It has also been suggested that going through that dark tunnel is a metaphor of the way in which persons experience going from one level of consciousness to another level of consciousness.
Thank you so much, Diane from Massachusetts. Go ahead, Darlene from New London. You're on.
Yes, I'd like to know if, what was that? How long of a time span can you be out of the body, and can you go into another dimension?
The other dimension is a state of consciousness, if you will, and there are different levels of consciousness in which you can go. And earlier I said that astral projection is also called anti-gravitational tetrasynchronicity, a state of being in 4-dimensional time. When you are in this state, you do not experience time as you experience it while in the physical body of moving serially from the past through the present to the future. So although you may be out of the body experientially for only several minutes, you may encounter extraordinarily detailed amounts of experience during that time.
Thank you very much, Darlene from New London. Go ahead, Kelly from Hartford. You're on the line.
Yes. I wanted to know if I had one. I was laying on my couch one night. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I know I was asleep, and my husband was trying to wake me up. It was a couple of years ago. But I watched myself come from the top of my stairs downstairs and look into my kitchen and see people in my kitchen, but I couldn't recognize the faces. They were like shadows, and I knew. And then when he physically woke me up, I remembered everything that I seen, and I don't understand why that happened.
Did you, were there those people physically in the kitchen or not?
No.
Well, I would suggest then that you encountered them in spirit. And when you are functioning out of the body, one of the dimensions into which you are functioning is the spiritual dimension, in which you can and do encounter spirits of deceased human beings.
Kelly,
and also encounter spirits of living human beings. Some parapsychologists have suggested that some 50% of all ghosts that people encounter are really the spirits of living persons while out of the body, astrally projecting.
Kelly, thank you very much. You have a pleasant evening.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. I want to thank you so very much, Boyce, for being a part of our evening and our program on Insight. I do hope you will consider coming back and being physically in my presence so I can speak with you again. Thank you so much for your wonderful insight, and have a good night.
You're quite welcome, Pat.
And when we come back, I'll be taking your calls. So those of you who are already on the lines, please stay with me. We'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back. Go ahead, caller from Colchester. You're on the line.
Hi, Pat. I'm
Good
having
evening.
some problems in my current job, and I was wondering if you could see another job in my near future.
Ooh. Well, let me give you the impression exactly as it came to me first before I answer that for you. In the present job, would there be any reason hour change came to me?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me go to phase 2. That was one part of job change that came to me, was hours. And now I'm feeling a little bit of time lapsing, and then I'm feeling total change, probably removal from the place that you're presently physically in, but not different type of job, not different hands-on, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But there will be a change, but it'll be similar kind of work.
Okay, but a different employer?
Yes, different different environment, my mind says, same type of work.
Okay, thanks a lot. Have
Thank
a good
you very
night.
much. Good
Bye.
night. Go ahead, caller from Lisbon.
Hi, Pat. I've got 2 quick questions.
One at a time, though, okay?
Okay. I just recently broke up with someone, and I don't know if I should just hang it up or just try to start over. Or...
Okay, well, first of all, to quote you, to say hang it up, I think it was hung up, if I may, for some time. That relationship was basically dangling, or should I say hanging, for some time, as far as communication, as far as talking about wants and desires and goals, and if you were on the same wavelength. That hasn't been a good, nurturing relationship for a while. Too many demands, and there's either drinking or some other type of vice that's been a real problem. And on and off. I'm not, don't misunderstand me, and I'm not labeling anyone, you know, an alcoholic or, you know, a drug addict, but my mind is telling me that there are vices that cause problems and break in communication. And you know what I'm talking about. I know that you do. You may not want to go into it over the air, and I don't blame you. But I would say to you, without an intermediary and without help, that relationship is definitely on the doom, I guess I could say on the doom pile.
Okay.
So I would say to you, go on with your life.
Okay. Do you see a moving, change in moving?
Definitely residential. Yes, I did feel that you would move from one residence to another, and it will probably coincide with also a career change. Why do I sense noise where you're employed?
A lot of noise.
Awful
Casino.
noise. Machinery.
No.
What kind of noise?
Casino noise.
Oh, that kind of noise.
Good
Oh,
noise.
okay. Okay. Yes, then to say definitely there will be change. And no wonder I kept getting a lot of people noise as well. So yes, to answer your question, I also sensed later in the day evening. I don't know if that's what you're doing now or what you will be doing.
All righty.
But yes.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Go ahead, caller from North Wyndham. You're on.
Hi, I'd like to know if you see anything as far as a change in my financial condition or my residence.
Oh, boy. Hand in hand, I'm feeling. Hand in hand meaning you're not going to be able to have finances change or improve unless you do make a move. So I feel, however, though you really didn't want to have to make the move, but in order to improve in finances, I think you're going to have to make the move. So within a 2-year time frame, that will come about for you. Sorry. I know you didn't want to hear that, but if, you call me because you want me to give you my honest impression, so I have to.
Yeah, no employment before then?
Within that time frame, yes.
Okay.
But it won't be enough. It won't be to get you, I think, over the hurdle.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Go ahead, caller from Westerly, Rhode Island. You're on.
Okay, I'm doing some traveling about a month and a half. I was wondering if there, it's by airplane. I was wondering if there might be anything wrong with that, and I have another question later, too.
Okay, if you're worried about, like, the flight or any kind of danger, did I sense anything wrong with you taking the flight? No. I did feel something about not great weather where you're going to be, but I also am feeling that that's probably par for the course and where you're going to be, like rainy or something, but nothing came to me that gave me any concern about the actual flight.
Okay,
so go ahead.
Do you see anything as a price coming down? Because we're looking for a lower price in the flight.
If it does, it's going to be a real small, insignificant amount, not enough to be, a real great savings. Some, but not immense.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, caller from Plainfield. You're on.
Hi, Pat. Do you see anything in the future for my love life?
I don't know why this came to me. The initial J is very, very powerful to me. And my mind said in, out, in, out. Someone in your life, someone out of your life, someone you've known. I'm a little uncomfortable. I do sense someone with a mustache. I do sense someone who has some fantasy about his hair. I don't know if it's receding or maybe discoloration. But I'm feeling an inability to make a commitment, to make a definite committal. And I don't always mean commitment like marriage, just to commit, to give, to give of oneself to another totally and completely. I cannot feel that at this point. And there's also a vehicle like a van and some mobility. I don't know if this person does almost like a UPS or a mail truck or some other kind of delivery. If you don't know who I am speaking of, you will, because this is something that could be definitely happening now, or it's something that I'm perceiving precognitively that will happen.
Yeah, because nothing sounds...
At this time.
At this time, yeah.
But it will. Come by the end of June or into July, you'll know that. And remember what I said, someone that can't commit solely. And that's why I probably feel dating, in your life, out of your life, in your life, out of your life. But at least I feel comforted knowing you won't be totally alone at this point. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have a pleasant evening.
You too.
Thank you. Go ahead, caller from Uncasville. You're on.
Yes, hi. Me and my friend are having trouble getting girlfriends in school, high school.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see, like, any future for us to get one in high school?
Are you asking me something about majoring, something you're focusing on? Let's get away from the girlfriend thing for a minute. I need to focus on something in high school and not being positive. Am I picking up correctly from you that you're not really certain about your major, like you might be toying between another area?
No.
Are you certain? Why then am I getting on the fence, so to speak? When did you decide on your major and what you wanted to do?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that explains it for me then. So if you just decided yesterday, that's why I think I felt you to be on the fence. And since it was just yesterday, I'm going to have to tell you that I still am not real certain, and I still don't feel that real clear on your focus. As far as girlfriends go, you're in high school, enjoy yourself. I really don't think this is timing for you to get into any kind of a committed relationship. However, the summer for you will be probably one of the better summers you've had in a long time. Okay? Thank you. Go ahead, caller from Norwich. You're on.
Hi, Pat. How are you?
Good evening.
I have two questions for you. The first one is, my boyfriend has a business, and I want to know if it will be lucrative for him.
Tough going, my mind says. I think there's been a lot of in-depth looking into this business, but yet some ends, my mind says, being left not thoroughly investigated, so to speak. So I think what I want to say is, first of all, I sense the motivation, I sense the diligence, and I certainly sense the energy for him to take this on. But there may be a need to go outside of his parameters for it to become really monetarily, healthy. It's going to take a little while, but it'll be okay. Just give it that time. July, August, very powerful to me. Probably for work to be coming in very steady, and probably a lot of it.
Okay.
Okay?
And do you see marriage and a family for us?
Yes, my mind says there's been some talking, and then it's like, well, let's wait a little bit. It's like, let's do one thing at a time. It's been discussed, and then kind of, I don't want to say put on the back burner now. Don't get upset with him, okay? But I'm feeling like, yes, it's been discussed, and what he needs from you right now is patience and understanding. But there's love, and there certainly is the foundation for marriage and children, yes. But I'm going to project that down the road for you, 2.5, 3 years in that time. Don't say, oh, my God, is it going to be that long? But in that time. Okay. And probably at that time, close to 2.5, 3 years, your own property and building of your own home at that time, too.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Go ahead, caller from Waterford. You're on.
Hi, Pat. I have a question. I'm interested in a man very much, but I seem to get frustrated with our sort of, not even a relationship. I don't talk to him very much, and I don't know where it's going.
Well, inwardly you do, and I think you're calling tonight to see whether or not I'm going to confirm your suspicions, and I probably am going to do exactly that. My impressions tell me that I think you've been feeling for a while now, at least within the last month, maybe a month and a half, 2 months, that things aren't on the same wavelength, and that you really need to have an understanding of that so you know whether or not to keep all your eggs in this one basket. And I'm going to tell you that if I were in your shoes, of course I can't tell you what to do, and these are only my impressions that I can give to you, but if I were in your shoes, I think that I would not keep all my eggs in this one basket. There's too much left unsaid and unclear. So
would that leave me any other prospects?
Oh, absolutely. You're a gal with a lot of spontaneity and a lot of zest. You have a lot of pizzazz about you. You also got to work on temper. You've got to work on calming down. But you're the type of person you also need the person next to you to be, if you're off and running, you need that person to be the lasso and pull you back and say, okay, let's get back down to earth now and get back down to some reality. But you need the partner in your life to share in everything you want to do.
Right.
And this partner that you presently have is not. But I do know that because of that zest and that zeal, that it is coming for you. I want to ask you something. Is the month of November important to you? Is that like a birth month or?
Well, that's when I got married, but I'm divorced.
Oh, no wonder. Oh,
and
okay, and it was significant for a reason.
But
okay, well, let me go on with this, because also you think about that, and you also think about wanting to be married again. Stop shortchanging yourself. You're fearful, I think, sometimes of admitting that. You certainly didn't want to with a person that's in your life now. Probably fear of knowing that he didn't want to hear it. So be patient. Before the end of the year, and then 94, going to be good for you. Not to worry.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're very welcome. Go ahead, caller from Newport, Rhode Island. You're on.
Hi, Pat.
Good evening.
My wife and I, we're sitting here, we're wondering, she's due June 11th to have a baby. We're wondering if it'll be a healthy, happy baby boy or girl.
Oh, well, boy did come to my mind, but let me say this to you, caller. I'm very Actually, it's more guesstimation with me, I think, than psychic impression, because I'm so very partial to little girls. But people do call me back and say to me, well, you were right, you were right, you were right. So I'd have to say maybe sometimes 65, 70% accurate. But I'll tell you why I felt boy in this particular case, and girl didn't come into my mind. Something about your wife's face gives me, like, all pregnant women glow. There is this wonderful glow about them. But when I say I look, it's of course in the energy. But I'm feeling in here like a mask, which lets me know more like toward the manly gender, if you will, more toward the male. And also the back of her legs, something's coming to me. I don't know if she's on them too much and needs to rest, but I felt aching.
Yes, she works a lot.
Yes. Well, you need to tell her then to relax a little bit, and get off these legs. I'm concerned that there might be problem afterwards with maybe muscle cramping or something like that. So let her rest those legs. She really needs to do that.
Okay. I have one more question.
Sure.
I'm just wondering what our financial status will be after the baby's born. We're doing pretty good now.
You're doing very well now, and you've been planning. So not to worry. Your money is fine, and I'm feeling like money set aside and more money to be put in with that money set aside. Not to worry.
Great. Thanks very much.
You'll be fine. Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Good night, sir. Now we have to take a word from our sponsors, and when I return, I'm going to go right to the mail. So those of you who are waiting on the lines for me, please be patient. I will be with you soon. Remember, when writing to me, write at Insight, Post Office Box 425 in Jewett City, Connecticut, 06351. Please, you must include a self-addressed stamped envelope and a photograph, preferably a single-person picture, and up to 2 questions. If you are writing to request any information on brochures or calling cards from the guests that you see here, please mark the outside of your envelope with the date and the topic of the show. And all other mail that requests my attention is answered right here on Insight. I will respect any instructions that are stated in your letter as to how you wish that I should disclose the information on the program. If you ask me just to give initials or the name of the town only or another first name, I will do exactly what you ask of me. I will comply. Now, don't change your dial, because we'll be right back. Thank you. Hi, and welcome back. I'm going to go right to the mail. The first letter comes to me from Patricia P. in West Cornwall, Connecticut. Pat, you asked me about getting out of debt. You asked me about a future relationship with your ex-husband coming back. Pat, in reading your letter and looking at the photo, I was encompassed with a lot of sadness for you and a great deal of sympathy. My impressions tell me that your relationship with your ex-husband is not and has not been what I would term as love, but as a dependent relationship. You cannot love someone as you profess and take the measures that you did. Your letter overwhelmed me. The measures that you took scared me. And I hope that you'll take what I'm telling you to heart, and please understand that it comes to you from my heart because I care. And you are in much need of counseling. There is such a need for you to speak to someone about this obsession that you have. Please ask your friends to lead you to a professional, medically professional individual, someone that has a background in psychiatry and that can understand and relate to this overwhelming obsession that you have that you cannot let go of. Yes, there will be another relationship in your life in 1994, but I sense it will be very rocky. You need to get some counseling, and you need to get a handle on yourself first, what you're all about, and let go of the stigma that's been left from your ex-husband leaving you. Otherwise, you'll continue the same patterns, and that concerned me for you. The voodoos and spells and wishing evil on someone is not a healthy thought process. This scared me. It scared me immensely. And even to consider such actions is what frightens me. Please consider what I'm telling you and take it up with a medically background individual of a professional nature. Thank you. The next letter comes to me From Maura M. from West Hartford, Connecticut, you asked me about career and your boyfriend. Dear Maura, in looking at your wonderful photo, I was so delighted in the presence that I sensed from your energy. You are a delightful and deep caring person yourself. But I sense that you needed to focus, my impressions tell me, of course, in an area that you can be the most helpful to persons who are in physical need, someone who may be physically handicapped in a sense and needs to rely on you, your own strength, and your own know-how. Perhaps also the health field or in teaching in the health field. You also have some wonderful energy about being able to take charge and to be a person in control and having others look up to you, to admire you, and to respect you, and to listen to what you have to offer. Perhaps a course that would show others how to reach and use their own maximum potential as you yourself are trying to achieve. Also, this you didn't ask me, but it came to me. Your voice stood out to me. I didn't know if I was picking up perhaps on singing or some other involvement with music, but the two went hand in hand. God bless you, and thank you so much for your wonderful compliments. Your relationship, I know you didn't want to ask me about it, and I know that it's a little unsteady, and there's only like surface communicating between the two of you at this point. But there is a, I don't know, I guess a need, I think, in you to be more expressive and wanting him to hear that part of you. You need really to sit down with him and put your cards on the table like you do every other aspect of your life, and only then, I think, is he going to come back with the retort that you're looking for. Now, the third letter comes to me from Phyllis F. from Gales Ferry. You asked me, I remember reading this one well. You asked me about your children, why they were looking to comfort for their dad right now, and you wanted to know if you and your husband would ever be together again. Well, let me say this to you, dear Phyllis. In looking at your photo, even though I saw a woman smiling and making a funny gesture in the photograph, it was apparent to me that you are very strong-willed and that you have probably worn the pants, if I may use such a phrase, in your family for a very long time. You've been the decision maker. You fit both roles, mom and dad, and I figured that you probably carried much of the household responsibilities. Your marriage, in my impressions, tells me that it was not always sound and that you had to make a lot of the choices and decisions for many years. Your husband is in need of understanding, support, and love now, and that's why I feel your children are letting him know that they care. Please understand that it is not my place to pass judgment or to condone or not condone your husband's actions or any of your actions. But a need came over me to express to you that they need to let him know that they care. Your children feel through love that he is a man in need, and they are trying to fill that need for him. Not that they love you any less, but that they want him to know that they care about what he is going through. You need to talk to them from your heart, and you need to let them know that you are not that rock that you have always purported to be. God bless you so much and your family, and thank you for your letter. The next letter comes to me from Nancy D. in Uncasville. You asked me about husband, happiness, job, and health. Nancy, in looking at your photo and that of your husband's, a smile crossed my lips and still does. You are the proverbial odd couple, my impressions tell me, but you do love each other. And I know that you've had your ups and downs, but there is love and caring, and that is very evident to me. You need to communicate more about what's really happening. Stop going around Robin Hood's barn to tell him what you're feeling. Go right inside and just let him hear it from you. You are the talker. He is quiet, at least about personal things he is. I'm not saying he doesn't have friends, and maybe doesn't like to sit and maybe have a beer or a cup of coffee and chit-chat, but I'm talking on personal and emotional things, and he likes people. Health was a slight concern to me. I did feel some things that might look into, that would need some looking into medically within the next couple of years, but nothing that was life-threatening or anything that gave me deep or great concern at this point. Thank you very much. God bless. The fifth and final letter this evening that I'm going to read comes from E.T. from Hartford, Connecticut. You asked me about career and relationship. In looking at your photo, I felt very sad. Loneliness encompassed me. I feel as though family is not near you. You didn't tell me this or express it, but I felt that your family is removed from you physically. You basically have no one really to talk to. There is one woman, though, who kept coming into my mind with the initial V, as maybe in Virginia. Perhaps you speak with her occasionally. The relationship is codependent that you asked me about. I feel that it is not nurturing or even compatible. You have had to make some changes, and you need to make some still. I do feel another involvement for you later on in your life, perhaps 94, 95, maybe even 96. Work will be in spurts, unfortunately. I felt some kind of maintenance or something perhaps to do with domestic work, maybe housework or something like that, maybe sewing. Something domestic came to my mind. Good luck to you, and God bless, and thank you for your letter. Now, when we come back, I'm going to go straight to the line, so stay with me. The number again to call in Connecticut, 1-800-443-TV26. Out of state, 1-203-444-2626. Remember, please dial all the digits. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Go ahead, caller from Westerly. You're on the line.
Hi, Pat.
Good evening.
I'd just like to know where my life's going right now.
Boy, you asked me that question, and I'm getting a lot of undercurrent. And you're going through something already, or you know that something's coming, because not good. You're teeter-tottering emotionally, and I'm just don't feel comfortable about that. There's definitely some changes coming for you in this year, either a separation from someone or something, or combination. I'm feeling being pulled away or taken away from. And I have to, there's another thread of energy coming to me, caller, about your health. Something in here on you bothers me.
Yes.
I'm very concerned about you health-wise in this area. I believe you're probably already under some medical attention.
Yes.
There will be some other tests, there'll be some other medical procedures, and I'm a little bit uncomfortable about this. Please let your emotional life form some sort of a balance for you so you can start healing yourself. You really are in need medically more so than anything right now. Please make that a priority in your life.
Well, I have.
I'm so
really
happy.
have, but I'm just, I don't know, I guess I'm worried about my children and stuff.
That too. One in particular that's been kind of a
Yeah.
gray hair maybe, or cause for gray hair, but not to worry. Over the next probably 10 to 11 months, you'll start to see some change with that particular one. You focus on you. I want to see you get back to where you used to be 10 or 15 years ago. You never let anything get the better of you for too long.
Right.
You've got to get that back.
Right. Thank you very much.
God bless you, and you're so welcome. And I hope to hear from you again a few years down the road, see how you're making out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good
Bye-bye.
night. Go ahead, caller from Hartford.
Hi, Pat. I have 2 questions for you.
One at a time, though, okay?
Okay. I would like to know, will I be going back to work soon?
Well, it depends on what you want to call soon. I don't, unfortunately, feel it in your immediate future, such as in the next month or so. Something tells me there's a reason you can't. I don't know if you're hampered due to health or hampered due to something out of your control. Is why I feel you unable. But you will be, and there's a highway, a very busy highway, and it crosses over another highway, like an intersection or a, I don't know how to describe to you what's coming to me. There's a school or a stone building. It has a lot of windows. I'm going past that, like on a highway road that might be like a 2-lane, goes into a 4-lane, and then comes off back into a 2-lane. I hope you're following me with this.
I am.
Okay, good. This is coming into my mind, obviously very strong, so I know work is coming, but I feel jacket season. So I'd have to say, kick back and enjoy your summer, even though your finances are going to be tight, and then look for changes probably late summer, fall, jacket weather again.
Okay.
Okay.
My second question
Go ahead.
is, will I be meeting someone soon? Someone I can get along with and be compatible with?
Relationship, thank you very much, because if you had said to me like commitment, I would have said absolutely not, because you don't want it. But you do want companionship and friendship. You had someone on and off more like a friend, though. I don't feel a lot of romance. Somebody you can talk to and be comfortable with, but it's almost like you look at him like a brother. Where the other relationship I'm feeling a gentleman who has a lot of pride, who likes to look nice, who likes to be admired because he has a lot of vanity, a lot of pride. But this isn't coming till down the road. Let me say within a 2-year time frame. But again, only relationship, romance, but not commitment.
Okay, and thank you very much.
God bless, and you're very welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
We'll be right back after this. I'm sorry for those of you who are on the line that I couldn't get to you, but you will have to tune in with me again next week. So we'll be right back now. Don't go away. Thank you for watching Insight.